everyone, welcome back to my channel, Mingby and I. My name is Mandy and I'm a full-time reseller. Today is my what sold video, so that will be for 4 different platforms: Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, and Depop for November 4th through the 10th. If you are new to the channel, I will go through all of my listings that sold for this time period. I'll show you the photos, the description, the title, and kind of give you a little bit of a summary on where I got it, if I'd pick it up again, or like any stories that I can think of with the order. I didn't write down any notes for this week. The only notable thing is Mercari was pretty crazy this week. I went from 0 sales last week to 11 this week. So I don't know what happened there. I did buy something. I don't know if that helped. I noticed that I had some credits. So thank you to who has been signing up with my code. It's not telling me who is doing it, so I can't thank any of you by like username or anything, but I have gotten a few and it's gotten me some credit. So I was able to buy something. So I don't know if that like did something to the algorithm, like, hey, you're buying, so we'll put more people your way. I have no idea. But I was definitely happy to see that because everything else was pretty quiet. I figured since the election happened on Tuesday that it wasn't going to be very busy just because there was so much uncertainty with that. It kind of picked up a little bit, but it definitely isn't as busy as where I'd like it to be, especially because we are, like, in reality, almost a month and a week or so away from Christmas. So we're almost to the point now where we're going to be hitting the deadlines for shipping. So I think that ultimately this Q4 is just going to be completely different than other ones. There's just a lot happening in the world right now. And I also think that the trend that I've been seeing, especially with my friends that have kids, is they're kind of going more towards the experience route as opposed to physical gifts. So I don't know if maybe, other people are doing that as well. Instead of getting, a kid a toy, maybe you would get them a gift certificate to go to a children's museum, or parents are taking them to Disney, or something along those lines where it's not a physical thing that they're buying. So I don't know, maybe it'll get really crazy in the next couple weeks. I don't really foresee it happening, but who knows? I mean, fingers crossed, I would love that. So I will scoot over and I will pop up the pictures here. Starting with Poshmark, these were a pair of Chaps purple corduroy pants. They were new at tags, a size 14. I got these at the bins. They did go for an offer of $21. I don't know that I'd pick these up again. I've probably had them for, I think I got these like in the summer, so quite a few months. Next is a pair of universal thread jeans. These came from, I'd have to look. They either came from the bins and I sent them to ThredUp a couple times and they didn't take them, or they were at that place where they were $1. Either way, I'm trying to kind of get away from jeans, I think, from Target brands. They just don't move well. For me, Target brands, the best things that sell quickly and for a decent amount of money is going to be like athletic wear, dresses, like maxi length dresses, any of the brands that do collaborations, those I will check comps. But I think jeans, I'm just going to kind of stay away from. It's similar with Old Navy. For whatever reason, Old Navy I can sell quite a bit different categories, but jeans, I just can't. So these I probably will not pick up it again unless I was going to send them to Plato's. Next up is Maurice's. That's another one of those brands that I am trying to become picky with. For whatever reason, I just have a soft spot for Maurice's. I think it's because when I was in high school, that was one of the very few stores that had something that was somewhat fashionable in a plus size for like a teenager. So I think that's part of the reason why I don't like to leave it at the bins. I don't pick it up at the thrift store. I am looking for items that I can use keywords to sell. This one was a dark floral. Was it floral? Yeah, a dark floral, like cardigan kimono with fringe. I thought that would help sell it. I've had this for quite a while, and it did end up going for only $14. Evelyn Bobby, I had never heard of this brand before. I found it at the bottom of a bin. Just feeling it, I knew I had to look it up. It felt like Honey Love or NYX. It's just very soft, and it kind of has that compression to it. So I did look this one up. It did go for $25. There was a lot of interest on this on Poshmark. Next up is Express. This is another brand I've kind of been trying out. The pants do okay depending on size and color is what I am finding. And then the tops are doing okay for me, as long as it's kind of like in that realm. I can use the keywords either like cottagecore, witchy, whimsy goth, alternative, like that kind of look, as opposed to like career wear. That seems to be doing well. This one had a crisscross in the front. It was smocked in the back. It was very dark cottagecore. What size was this one? This was a large. This I got, I think, at the thrift store. It was 80% off. I'm assuming I only paid no more than $2, and it did go for an offer of $20. Next is a Carhartt hat. I have had this for probably a year and a half. When I first got it and listed it, there was a whole bunch of attention. And then it was like, ever since then, it just kind of fell off. I believe this is vintage. Let me look at the tag. It might not be vintage, but it's definitely older, just based on the style of the hat. That's very Y2K. As I'm looking at the title, I probably could have zhuzhed that up a little bit, because I only have it as Carhartt Purple Corduroy Adjustable Hat. If I were to list this again, I would definitely put in, you know, Y2K, 2000s, trendy, that kind of stuff to help pull in more buyers. I did pick this up at the bins, and I did get $15 for it. This was a style-based pickup. The brand is Grace Elements. I've never heard of that before. It was plus size, kind of like a velvety corduroy type feel to it. A fun pattern. This one did end up going for $20. Next up is Old Navy jeans, which I just said I can't sell, but as you can see, these were new at tags. They were a plus size 24, and they did go for $18. I find these quite a bit at the bins, and I don't know where they're coming from, if they're coming from the store in town or not, but I found that my Play-Dohs, like, I think size 20 is about like their cutoff of what they will take for plus size. So I've definitely been, you know, making sure that I'm staying at 20 when I'm going to be sending them stuff. And especially now that ThredUp doesn't take Old Navy, or they will, but you won't get a payout, I really don't have anywhere else to sell these, because like I said, it's fairly hard to sell online. If I found a whole bunch in the same size, lotting them up would probably help. But for now, I'm just going to stay away from jeans from Old Navy. Next up is a Harley-Davidson shirt. I will not pay up for Harley anymore. It is just so oversaturated. Unless I would find like true vintage 90s with the big graphics, like the eagles and the flames and all of that. But even those have drastically gone down in value, because, you know, they've been around for a couple years where it's been really popular, and there's just so much of it that, you know, it just makes the value go down. This one was a button-up. It was a little bit heavier weight and short sleeve, almost kind of like a mechanic type style shirt. It had the big spell out on the back that was embroidered. So I thought I would give this one a try. I think it was $3 at Goodwill. It was only a size medium. Normally bigger sizes are better, but it did go for my full asking price of $38. Next up is Torrid. I have talked about Torrid all the time. This is one of the dresses. I will definitely pick up dresses, and especially from the bins. That's where this came from. This was a 1X, kind of a moodier floral print, and it did go for $22. I've been doing really well with these like crushed velvet dark floral cardigans. Brand doesn't really seem to matter. Size doesn't really seem to matter. This was a large. And I did use the keywords boho, velvet, festival, Stevie Nicks, witchy, open front. This one did go for an offer of $20, and this came from the bins. The brand was Mystery. They kind of have like that kind of earthier boho vibe from what I've seen of the brand. I wouldn't, you know, pick up everything from this brand. If you can find pieces that you can get good keywords in, I would definitely pick those up. This one was a great find. This came from the bins. I don't think it even had a brand. This one did not have a brand that I could find in here. It did have the care tag that had a style number. I didn't try looking it up or anything. It did say made in the USA, size large. It did have a heavier feel to the tag, so I'm wondering if this is like vintage. If I had to guess, probably late 90s, early 2000s. It was like a silver with a black not even an overlay, because they were pressed onto the skirt like a velvet rose. I think they were roses, yeah. Very witchy, very goth, maxi length. This had no stretch. I made sure to put that in the description so people know the measurement of the waist. Like, that is all you're working with, because this thing did not stretch at all. And it did go for my full asking price of $40. Okay, so now on to Mercari. This Zara skirt I just picked up. I wasn't going to, because Zara really just kind of sits for me. For the most part, if I find Zara and it's very lightweight, I will just send it to ThredUp. I end up getting, you know, money quicker that way. Otherwise, it just sits. But I thought I would give this one a try just because I was going to use the academia keywords, and it did end up selling, I think, within a week for an offer of $18. This is the brand Arula. I've had this dress for a really long time. I've sold it before. It might have been a bigger size that I sold before. They do kind of like vanity sizing, I think. Yeah, they do like A, B, C, D, maybe. This was an A, so it was equivalent to a 14-16. New with tags, really cute. It had the cutouts on the side, kind of balloon sleeves. This did go for an offer of $23. Here's another Torrid piece. I normally don't pick up blouses anymore. I just got this one from the bins, though. I thought I would give it a try on my own, and if it didn't sell within a period of time, I would send it to ThredUp. I'm glad I listed it. I did get full asking price of $20, and especially better that it sold on Mercari because I get the full 20. This probably sold within 2 weeks. Next up is vintage 90s No Fear. If anyone was like in middle school or high school in that period of time, that was a really big brand. They had the shirts that had the big spell out of No Fear. This was a baseball jersey I got at Goodwill. I think I paid $4.99. I've had it for a couple months. I thought that there would be more interest in it, but there just was not. It was a size large, and it did go for an offer of $26.25. Next up is Talbots. I've been doing pretty well with the pieces I've been picking up by Talbots, but I'm very strategic about it. Normally, bigger sizes, new tags, obviously always better. Blazers do very well. I do not pick up pants. Sometimes I will if they are more modern looking, but they got to be like new tags. This was a 3X, really soft, like pull-over sweater, and this would go for my full asking price of $25. This is a Chala, I think that's the brand name. It had a Boston Terrier on it, just like a small crossbody. Anything that has like a dog print to it or a cat print, definitely look into it. Those are two things that people are willing to pay up for, people are looking for. People love their cats and dogs. This one did go for an offer of $22.50. This was a great pickup. So these were at Goodwill. I want to think I might have waited till they were half off. So I'm thinking like $5. This is Angels. This brand was huge when I was in like middle school. They are known for kind of having a low rise. They normally have quite a bit of embroidery to them. These had a big embroidery of, what was it? Flowers and a butterfly. So we're getting double for the Y2K here. And they had bling on them. So I got to use preppy girlies, butterfly, flower, heart embroidery, flare jeans, and they were flare. So that was great. There was some discoloration to these, but they did end up going for an offer of $42. Next up is that Maurice's tank top that I picked up. I showed in a haul not too long ago. These were pretty popular, like 2004 to probably 2011. I know a lot of millennials had to kind of get over the layering of pieces. That was something I did forever. I always had a tank top under whatever I was wearing. I don't do that anymore. But this did end up going for $12. Would I pick this up again? If I had more of them to do a lot so that I could get more, I would. Or there'd have to be maybe a little bit more going for it than just the lace trim on it. But I'm okay with it. I picked it up at the bins. It sold, I think, within 2 or 3 weeks for $12. I get all 12 from Mercari. If it would have sold somewhere else, you know, we'd be looking at less than 10. That's kind of my cutoff right now for my business model, is I need to make at least $10 on the item, unless it would be something that I paid up for. And then the last one on Mercari was this vintage nightgown. This was super pretty, berry, like a berry wine color almost. It had some mesh in the front, so it kind of had a little bit of a cutout look to it. A lot of lace on the front. There were a couple split seams that I did put in the listing, and there were some stitching issues, I think, on the back. It did end up going for $22. Now onto eBay, this Banana Republic gray cashmere pullover sweater. We'll see how this ends up. The buyer bought it. They offered me $24, which was fine. I feel like I've had this for a while. I think it came in that Helpsy source box, which would have been like last winter. I don't like it when people buy something and then immediately message me telling me how to package it. I understand they've maybe had an issue in the past, but like, you can see how many items I've sold. You can see my rating, like I'm not dumb. And it said something like, please don't wash this beforehand. It's like, well, I'm not going to be washing cashmere, first of all. Second of all, it said, like, make sure it's in a good bag that can't be ripped or punctured. I'm thinking that would be a box, because I would imagine all bags can be ripped or punctured. So I was just like, whatever. I didn't even respond back to them. I always double bag everything, so I've never had an issue of a bag being ripped or punctured. So I don't know. That just always rubs me the wrong way when it's like immediately, make sure you do it like this. It's like, would Amazon do that for you? No. Would Banana Republic do that for you? No. So I don't know. I've just been kind of sassy about that stuff recently. So we'll see how that review ends up going. Next up is American Eagle. These were a size 14. I've been doing really well with American Eagle in like size 12 and over for jeans of any style, even skinny. These ended up going for an offer of 20. Picked these up at the bins. Next up is Cool. These were like a longer length short, almost a capri, I guess you could kind of say. Size 2. These ended up going for an offer of 27, which isn't bad considering we are in November. Next up is Airy. I've been finding this quite frequently at the bins recently. I picked these up mainly because they were flare, they were ribbed, they were pull-on, and they were an extra, extra large, which you don't always find. These did end up going for an offer of 20. This was a book I picked up at the Goodwill bins not too long ago. It's Voltron. I don't really know where it comes from. It had a DreamWorks thing on it. This one ended up going for full asking price of $10.99. Next up is a Dazed and Confused shirt. I got this at Goodwill quite a while ago. This would have been my size. I would have kept it, but it wasn't. Someone did pay full asking price of $18. And then the last sale for eBay, this was a full price sale, which was great. These Citizen of Humanity jeans, these were the Laya High Rise Classic Fit crop jeans in a size 26. These I picked up at Savers, and I think I paid, well, it was Savers, so probably $8, I would imagine. And these did go for the full asking price of $55. Now onto Depop. This was Moda International. I've been doing great with that brand, so I would definitely keep an eye out for it. I don't think they're currently making items anymore. I think they were more like late 90s to mid 2000s, if I had to guess. This had everything going for it. I think it was a larger size. No, it was a medium, but it had lace, a V-neck. It had kind of like lace up on the sides. This one I used keywords like dark fairy, Y2K, biker, goth, 2000s. All of that I think helped sell this. There was so much interest on this. I probably had, I couldn't even tell you how many people had sent me offers. There was 629 clicks on this and over 18,000 views. So I did have it listed for 60. I knew I probably wouldn't get that much, but I wanted to make sure that I had room for offers. So somebody finally offered me 48 and paid for it, which I thought was very fair because this was also a bins pickup. Next up was a hooded sweatshirt. I believe it was anime. Cloak is the name of it. I don't know a lot about anime, so I try and do Google Lens whenever I do find them just to kind of see if there is, demand for the item. This one did end up going for an offer of $24. This skirt I just got a couple weeks ago. It was kind of a mix-matched pattern. It had floral, it had plaid, it was very cottagecore. I had it listed for $30 and someone did end up getting it for $24. So looking at the totals for this week, Poshmark, $268 for 12 items sold. Mercari, $250.25 for 11 items sold. eBay, $224.23 for 7 items sold. And then Depop, $96 for 3 items sold. So after my average cost of goods and all the fees are taken out, that leaves me with $601.50 for 33 items sold. So going into next week, I am still continuing my same schedule of listing 15 items Monday through Friday and then delisting, relisting on the weekends. I want to, like I said last week, I want to try that for at least a month and just kind of see how it goes. Like I said, this is just kind of like a weird time where it's not a normal Q4. I'm sure there's some people that are doing really good. I don't sell a lot of like new in box toys or gadgets or electronics or anything like that. That might be doing better right now, for anticipation for the holidays, where maybe some people are, holding back on getting pre-owned clothing just because, you know, they're spending their money elsewhere. As far as videos go for the week, I'm not sure if there'll be one Friday. We'll see, depending on kind of how my schedule pans out here. I'm trying to get myself into a little bit more of a routine. Now that I need to have 15 items a day, it's kind of throwing me off a little bit just because I need to make sure I have that inventory. So I'm trying to get some sort of schedule where I can make sure I have the inventory. I am not someone that carries a death pile. The only thing that I do kind of have as a death pile is my mom did just come here and she brought me some more dishware, like some vintage Pyrex. What else was in there? I think some other glassware, like that kind of stuff. I guess that would be a death pile. It's not that big, but as far as clothing goes, like I will only probably carry over 5 to 10 items depending on what I have. In the past, that was a little bit bigger when I was getting mystery boxes and that kind of thing, but I've kind of gone away with that. I will do some. To me, the way that the mystery boxes have been going, it just seems like a better idea for me to use my money at the bins and pick what I'm getting. If I were to get into, you know, an area where the bins started being really bad and thrift stores were bad again, then I probably would go back to the mystery boxes. But for right now, I'm kind of holding off. I do have quite a few credits on ThredUp from items I've sent in. I just really haven't been ready to get a box. The ones I've seen recently haven't blown me away. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do there. I do kind of have a video in my mind to make on different online platforms that you can get inventory from. There has been something I've been doing on ThredUp to look for inventory. I have purchased a couple things there. I don't want to, you know, get into that right now, but that might be a video I make coming up on how you can actually source on ThredUp and get some pretty good deals. Like I said, I'm trying to get myself into a routine. I don't want it to be super strict. So I'm trying to find the line of giving myself grace, but also still being self-disciplined. You know, this is a business. I need to make sure that I am making good decisions on my time. So I'm trying to figure out what is working best for me. So I just kind of feel like until I figure that out, YouTube is kind of in the back burner. I'm still making videos. I am telling myself definitely need to make sure that there's one Monday, Wednesday, the what sold video. That's pretty easy for me because, you know, the information's there. Coming up with the other videos have been a little bit harder for me. The next couple weekends will just be me and Griffin at home, so maybe I will have some time then to come up with some video ideas and maybe film them. I'm not someone that likes to be filming when my boyfriend is here. It just seems very awkward to me, so I don't. So we'll see. If anyone has any ideas or suggestions on videos they would like to see, let me know in the comments below. I will consider those suggestions. I've also really kind of been busy with inventory. I want to make sure that I get that done before the end of the year. It's pretty hard when there's only one person to do it. I have close to, if not more, 1,500 items. So I need to go into all my bins and pull everything out, make sure it's listed on each platform, you know, make sure that it's in the correct bin. Is it something I still want to sell? If not, I have to take it out of the inventory, find somewhere for that to go. And while I'm doing all of that, I still need to make sure that I have, you know, my listings are going up, offers are being sent, packages are going out, YouTube videos are being made. So it definitely is quite a bit for one person. So I'm just trying to find somewhere where, you know, it's a happy medium where I don't feel like I'm being overworked. I've noticed that with this line of work, when I was working a traditional job, you know, like on Sunday nights, it would be like, ugh, I have to go to work on Monday. I don't feel that with this job. For the most part, this job is fun. Obviously, there's some things I don't like doing, but they need to get done. So it's pretty easy to get burnt out when you're enjoying what you're doing because you're just not even noticing that it's happening. But I can definitely kind of feel it a little bit just because there's certain things I used to be excited about that now I'm just kind of like, I don't really feel excited about doing this anymore. So I just want to make sure that I'm not pushing too hard without realizing it. But with that being said, I do have goals that I want to meet and or exceed. So it's kind of like I just need to find that happy medium. So enough of me rambling. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!